Hello everybody, it is Shakes. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day, and today I'm going to be going over how to get godlike aim in Valorant. Now a little bit of a disclaimer before we get into the video. Watching this video and learning everything that I have to give in this video will not instantly make you have godlike aim. That's just not how it works. With anything in life, you're going to want to practice, and the more time you practice, the better you'll be. So kind of keep that in mind as you're going through the video, because the more time you're going to put in, the better you're going to be. So if you just want to get a little bit of an edge over your friends in terms of your aim, then maybe you just want to play like 10 minutes, 20 minutes a day to get better at your aim, or you just do it before whenever you're going to have a play session. On the other hand though, if you really want to get good practice, if you want to become really good, maybe if you want to even go pro, you're going to have to put in more time. I'd recommend if you want to go pro or something, maybe we'll put in 1 hour or maybe even 2 hours if you really want to get good and have godlike aim. The majority of people who have godlike aim, pro-like aim, have actually come from CSGO, and they've done nearly the same thing in that game. You know, there's a lot of practice that comes with it, but you have to practice in a very specific way, which I'm going to show you guys how to do in Valorant. So yeah, without further ado, let's just jump into the video. Subscribe if you like the content, or, you know, if you just like me, or if you don't, I don't discriminate. But anyway, the first thing you're going to want to do is click play, and instead of hopping into a match like you normally would, just click practice, and then you're going to want to click shooting test. If it's not already enabled, then click enter range. And once you're here, it doesn't really matter who you're going to want to choose. I personally just like Sage because, you know, personally, she can put up an additional wall if she wants to, so, you know, you can kind of practice as if there's like a wall in your way while you're, you know, shooting. So if you want to have that additional control over your practice experience, you can do that, but it's absolutely not necessary. But anyway, the first thing you're going to want to do is click F3 and then change, you know, your speed, your streak, and your bots. These are the main things you have to focus on. So anyway, if you don't think you have that great aim, maybe go on easy. If you think you have decent aim, maybe go on medium. If you think you have really good aim, or you just want to get really good, then you're going to want to go on hard. A good thing to understand though is if you know you don't have good aim, but you want to become really good, do not just automatically go to hard. Make sure you go to easy, then medium, then hard. And once you kind of master each one of those, then you can move up one, because starting at hard will just not really make you good, because you're just going to be missing only your shots, and it's not really going to benefit you. I personally recommend putting on bot armor if I'm using something like the AK, which I tend to use because, you know, that's one of the most popular guns, so you're going to want to have a lot of practice with it. Turning on infinite ammo is pretty important, and then you can also put a streak, so you can eliminate 50 or eliminate 100. You can set these up if you kind of want to compare how you are now to how you are later. For example, if you think, you know, you want to practice for the next month and become really good, then maybe you click and eliminate 100 and then practice eliminating 100 people. It's going to time you, and then you're going to get your time, and then later on you can kind of, you know, do the same thing and see if you got a better time and see how much more you improved. For the bots, you can reset them into their original places, and you can also make them strafe if you want to. I don't think this is super useful, because if you're just practicing your raw aim, your raw, you know, flicking ability, things of that sort, then you're not going to want to make them strafe, because, you know, that has less to do with your aim and more to do with your prediction of where they're moving. But yeah, that's besides the point. Anyway, once you've figured out your settings, just click done, and then buy whatever gun you want. You can click B to buy as you usually would. And then what I like to do is click on this little practice thing, shoot at it, and then you're going to see a bunch of bots. And what you can do to just warm up your aim is just practicing getting headshots on each one of them and seeing how fast you can kill each one. And then, you know, pretty much just keep flicking, try to kill as many people as fast as possible, and then eventually you're going to, you know, become way better at doing this. But pretty much once you have your arm warmed up and you think you can get a few headshots and you have, you know, you're ready to practice, then you can just click start, and, you know, it's going to pop up bots, and you're going to try to hit them, headshot them as fast as possible. And as you can see, I'm on the easy difficulty currently, so it's going to be incredibly easy to get them in time. But, you know, it's good to start off with this and see if you can hit everything perfectly and within the time frame, and then you'll just be just fine. As you can see, I can barely do this. It's incredibly difficult for me. But yeah, just practice on the lower difficulties, and if you can't get there, then, you know, just keep practicing on the same thing. And if you can, then just start moving up. As you can see, it's a little bit easy, so I'm just going to go to the medium difficulty. Just click exit or just shoot at it, and then just click F3 again, then click medium, and then it's going to be slightly harder. Then again, you can just click start and then start practicing, and then you could just see if it's too hard for you. As you can see, I am pretty bad at this, but you know, that's why I have to practice. That's why I've made this video, so you guys can practice too while I practice. But pretty much, it's just going to improve your flicks, and over time, you're just going to have really good flicks and be able to have really good aim in this game, where, you know, having good aim and having good cross replacement, all of those things are super important. Now, if you don't enjoy that kind of aim practice, that's totally fine. You could just practice like this, as I was doing before. I actually quite like this bit quite a bit more, because I feel like I can, like, refine my aim a little bit easier, because, you know, I have full control over when I get to shoot. You know, it's not really timed on someone else's timer. I gotta kind of choose, and over time, if you keep doing this, then you're going to have pretty darn good aim. In fact, you don't even have to be in that area. You can kind of stand wherever you want. If you want to stand here, then, you know, people are going to be a little bit further apart, so that maybe that's better for your flicks if you want to practice flicking, because then maybe that's going to be a little bit more helpful, because they are quite a bit wider, so that may be a little bit more useful for wider range flicks. And then also, if you want to spice it up in another way, then this is why I chose Sage. You can put up a wall and then kind of practice peeking around the wall and see if, you know, you can, you know, practice peeking around the wall and see if you can get a kill. As you can see, I clearly can't, but pretty much if you just want to practice, you know, wall peeking, because obviously this is a pretty big part of the game, peeking around a wall and seeing if you can actually get the frag, unless they are the wall. But pretty much, peeking around walls is a pretty big part of this game, so you're going to want to be able to do it pretty well. So as you can see, you might want to slow peek it and see if you can get a tap the second you see them. And yeah, pretty much this kind of practice will be super useful for the actual game. Another thing that I recommend doing is just practicing strafing in between, because obviously, strafing is a pretty big part of this game. It obviously isn't quite as much as in something like CSGO, but pretty much just practice moving in between your shots, because maybe, you're going to have the opportunity to move, and you just want to be able to, shoot the second after you're moving, because if you are on the move, it's going to be a little bit harder for them to hit you. So if they miss their shot, then you can stop, and then you can get the kill, and that's going to be super useful in actual gameplay. You can also click F2 to change character if you want to play a different person for whatever reason. Like if you want to see Raze and you want to pick her up and see, how much damage her paint shells does from a certain distance. As you can see, it's pretty close to both of those guys, so it's probably going to kill both of them. So you can kind of predict how close you have to hit the nades to actually get the kill, which might be super useful in game. Or you can use her ultimate and see how many kills you can get in one shot, or just how big the radius is, and pretty much just kind of understand fully how big the radiuses are for many of the abilities. You can change to someone like Sova and then, just practice his, shock darts, and see exactly how much damage it will do from certain ranges, on the outside. See how many more bullets it'll take to kill them. And yeah, that's pretty much just a bunch of different ways you can practice in Valorant. And mainly, the main thing you're going to want to do is practice, the aiming, because your aim skill is one of the most important things. But don't forget to neglect the other parts of the game, because, game sense and the rest of those things are also incredibly important in becoming really good at this game. But yeah, keep in mind that this is a video game, and if you aren't having fun, then you probably aren't doing it right. So if this is kind of stressful, then you don't have to do it. Maybe you just want to do a little bit of practice before you jump into a match to make sure your aim isn't garbage. But generally only do this if it is fun for you, or you want to get a massive rank or go pro or something like that. But yeah, don't spend too much time here and be super depressed because it isn't that fun. I personally find it a lot of fun to just get a little bit better with my aim every day. I enjoy doing the same thing in CSGO too, and pretty much a lot of other games I just like improving. So if you enjoy that, then this is definitely going to be for you. But if it's not, and this feels like a slog to you, you don't want to have to spend all this time to just improve your aim barely, then you don't have to do it. It's not a necessity. But yeah, if you would like to become an aim god like Shroud or Scream or people like that, then this is the best way to do it. And yeah, without further ado, that is the video. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Like if you like the video, subscribe if you want to, or if you don't want to. And yeah, just remember to comment any kind of other videos that you guys want to see on Valorant or any other game, and subscribe if you want to see that video so you can actually have it in your sub box once that video actually gets made. And yeah, thank you guys all so much for watching. Hope to see you guys in my next video, and yeah, peace out. See you later, guys.